Alright, so you can see these are my two galley pieces of stock for the galley. And you can see, like I said earlier, the saw, as I'm going over it, it makes a little mark on there. That's not a big deal. That's an easy touch-up to do once we clean this off. Touch it up with a little paint. We're going to lay the strips. We have these strips already pre-sanded. So we'll cut these strips to size, lay them along the edge, glue them down, and then that's going to start to thicken up our cabinet. So these will act as an extra spine holding these doors straight, especially since they're bigger. The bigger one I may run on the inside another piece up the middle just to help it with the wiggle. But again, as I said earlier, that's going to make, you know, these they have a little bit of wiggle to them, but once you put that trim around it, it's going to spine it up. But these are such light pieces of wood now, so they're nice light doors. These are going to be the two for the overhead, and that's super light. I mean, that's a super light piece. So those hinges, when I lift this up, should really easily be able to hold this door up, I would hope. That's my plan. So let me cut the trim pieces. We'll start getting them glued and clamped, wait for that to dry, and then we'll be ready to start installing the doors. Alright, so here's my trim. The poplar trim cut out for the one, ready to glue on. Now, I'm painting the outside of these cabinets, but the trim that'll go on the inside, I do have unpainted pieces here, and I don't really need to paint it for the inside of that. I'm not really concerned about that. I'm leaving the inside of the cabinets kind of unfinished. We're really just focusing on the paint of the outside. So this came out real nice, and we'll glue it, clamp it, and let that dry, and we'll be ready to put it up. I do need to put it on the other, you know, cut these same pieces of trim for the back side, do the exact same thing on the back side. Sometimes on the back side, and I may for these smaller doors, I don't always put this piece on the inside because I'm only using screws on the top and the bottom, so those are the two where I'm really looking to get the thickness. So, but we'll see what ends up happening. Okay, here's what they look like, the cabinet doors with the maple, 1/4-inch maple, and then the poplar pieces for trim. So I've got a 1/4-inch poplar piece, 1/4-inch maple, another 1/4-inch poplar piece, and this is what the finished product looks like. So it's a nice and light door, and what we'll do is we'll mount that up on the overhead wardrobe, and this will act as a, you know, that thickens it up so that I can screw in hinges and screw in a handle. Yet the door itself is super light. So let's get these up on the wardrobe. Okay, so what I've done out on the cabinet is I've marked in 5 inches in. These are 25 inches, so I've come in 5 inches on either side, and I've marked my hinge where I'm going to put my hinge on either side, and then I've marked where I'm going to drill to mount the hinge up. Once the hinge is mounted up, then I can lift this tab up here and mark my door, and then put little drill holes in there and drill my door on. So I've mounted my hinges 5 inches in from either side on both of these. And then what I did is I put up the door. I put these hinges down, and I set the door up till it was a good spot where I wanted it. And I looked at this center piece here, come up a little bit right there, so I know I've got good closure. Okay, and then I marked it with a pencil mark up there and right up in that corner, so I know where I need to to put the door when I go to look at my hinges. Okay, so now to get the door marked for my hinges, what we'll do is now we're going to take the door, we're going to open up the hinges a little bit, take the door, align it up with that mark there, and I'm over here lined up with this mark, and now I'm going to pencil mark these 3 holes, which I've already done. You can see there all my holes are marked. So now I can just flip this door over, drill my holes, hold this back up there with a gun, and just shoot the screws up in there. Now they give you these little guys. I'm not a fan of them, so what I'm going to do is use 3/4 inch, because this is 3/4 inch wide, plus the thickness of this. That's going to bring that screw almost through, but not quite, but it's going to give me a good grab, much better grab than the little guys that are coming with it. So I'm going to go with the bigger screw just to hold it. So I have the first cabinet door on now, and I've got my hinges mounted. I hand screwed the door in. I like to be able to feel versus doing the battery powered drill, and you know, they go in quite easily. Now I'm putting in 3/4 inch screws into this. A little trick I learned though to make the screws go in easier, I did pre-drill the holes to a 1/16 of an inch, which is a little thinner than the body of those screws, so they're going to get a good grab. But then what I do is I scrape the threads over a bar of Dove hand soap, and that gives it a nice lubricant to go in, to make sure that I don't split the wood. And they go in super duper easy, and the nice thing is, since it's not an industrial lubricant, it doesn't leave any stains on the wood. It doesn't crack anything, and now I have a nice door on, and it's matched up pretty well with my mark on this side and my mark on this side. So I know I'm pretty straight. I'm going to have a nice gap in my next door, so I'll put the second door on, and we'll just have to put handles on and we're good. So to kind of show you how I'm lubing these screws up using the soap, I'm just putting them on the drill, screwing them into the soap, and that gives me a nice coating on each of the screws, and I just kind of lay them and get them ready. You know, a lot of it falls off, but at the same time, enough of it stays on where they really do go in easy. So there you have it, my holy bar of Dove, and we have our cabinet doors up, looking good and even, well spaced. We've got a nice gap down the center of them. This one kind of comes out to the edge, but that's no big deal. And I just need to put some hardware on the doors here. Now, I had said when I was making these that I was going to try, I was hopeful that these hinges would hold them up because they were light doors. That's not happening. No big deal though. I think what I'll do in the early days here is I'm just going to make like a prop stick for them, because there's a good ridge under here, so I can just cut a piece of one of the many pieces of trim or scrap pieces of wood I have downstairs, and I can put a little, you know, in each cabinet I can have a little prop stick for them. But they came out really nice. I'll put some hardware on there and we'll call this job done. And here are the finished cabinets with the handles installed. So I just need to make some prop sticks for them. I think that's what I'm going to do, just for now anyway. Just make some prop sticks. And I'm going to put some felt around the edge, so get rid of that sound and have it be a more muffled close. So we have our cabinet doors up now, and I have I'll use this one. I did make some proper sticks to prop it up so I can get into the cabinet, and until we decide, you know, to put some shocks or something up there, these sticks will be okay. I put a little notch in them here. The only thing I have to do to these cabinets yet is put some felt on here to get the rattling to stop. And I'll probably do the same thing with these that I did with the other cabinets, is put some Velcro, some really heavy duty Velcro, like right in here, and that kind of locks it in place, and you have to pull it to get it open. The other thing we put in this weekend was the spice rack. So I kind of put this guy up, and we're all set to go there. Get the rest of the tins out, fill them out with some spices, and we're good to go. So that was the update for this weekend. This week on Thursday, we're heading out somewhere. We're either going to North Carolina, down to Asheville until the end of the weekend, or we'll go somewhere else. Just kind of depends what the aftermath of Florence left in North Carolina. So one way or another, though, we're heading out for about 4 days somewhere. Don't know where yet, and we'll certainly video that. So until next time, this is Ken. Peace. Like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you on down the road. See ya.